I'm traveling out of Cincinnati, CVG Airport, by way of Paris, France today. I'm going to fly to Paris, and then from Paris, I'm headed over to Basel, Switzerland. And from Basel, Switzerland, I'm actually taking a little bus into Freiburg, Germany. And here's our plane. This is a Airbus A330. It's not a Neo, so it's not new. It's time to get on the plane. I'm in business class today, fortunately, so I get to get on a bit early. This plane doesn't have first class. It only has business class, premium economy, and economy. One thing that was new, I've never done this before, going on an international flight on Delta out of Cincinnati, but we went through this biometric check-in process, which was pretty cool. So I just had to stand there. It scanned my face. There's my face. Gave me the go-ahead so I could get on the plane.
Please be ready with your boarding passes and your passport. Please, we're not
Always interesting when you're flying international and on a different plane. I've been on a lot of 767s to Paris from Cincinnati, but this is an A330, a little bit different layout. This is an older plane. This is an older A330, and it didn't have as nice accommodations, I can tell you that right now. It was a bit older. This was like, I don't know, I've been flying international flights since 2008. It felt like this layout was seemed like about 10 years worth of wear and tear on it. Like, for example, the TV monitor, the entertainment system, it wasn't exactly a high quality screen. It wasn't a capacitive screen. It was more of a resistive screen, if you know what those are. And you can see there's that old school remote thing there stuck in the side. But this is me getting comfortable, getting my stuff set up. They had a really nice blanket. That big black thing down there is a blanket, a pillow. Those were very nice. Nice amenity kit there. I love keeping these little boxes they give you with the amenities. They come in handy. I give them to my kids a lot of times. But yeah, this is what it looked like in the old business class.
And thanks for your patience. And if I have any further updates, I'll let you know. But as of right now, we should be underway in about 15 to 20 minutes. Thank you.
So we had a bit of a delay there. About 20 minutes in all, I think. So now here's one of my favorite parts of flying. I love taking off and watching the world whiz by. It never gets old for me. So I'm not going to give you the full flight review just because it wasn't necessarily anything to speak of. But there's a nice view out of the window right before dinner was served as the sun was going down on our way over across the Atlantic Ocean. I love having a window seat. It allows me to... I've seen some amazing sunsets from the window. So dinner time, here's our nice appetizer with the bread and the salad and the little shrimps. This meal, although looking at it now, it doesn't look very appetizing, but I can recall it tasted pretty good. I think that was beef short rib. Went to sleep 5 hours later, woke up, it's breakfast time. I have to say the croissant was whack. That little spinach thing over there, that was whack. I didn't like it. The coffee was good. And now we're landing in Paris. So here you see the beautiful French countryside that's out near the airport at Charles de Gaulle Airport, CDG. A lot of people complain about Paris Airport. I've been through Paris Airport so many times. I can't remember how many times now. I don't have any problems with it. I guess it's because I'm familiar with it. Never gotten lost. Never had a bag get lost, never missed a flight, never had any of those kind of bad situations that people talk about. But in any case, this is our gate. We're pulling in, about to deplane. And so what I do is I take my action camera, I stick it in my backpack, which is on top of my roller bag, and I just roll through the airport. And one of the things on my way to my gate today, I'm going over to gate G to take a connecting flight into Basel, Switzerland. One of the things to notice here, count how many escalators I have to go down to get from this terminal, which I think we're coming into terminal M. It's either terminal M or L, and have to go to G. It's always interesting how European airports smell. If you've ever been to a European airport, they have a certain kind of smell that American airports don't have. American airports don't have a particular smell, but European ones do. So we went up, and now we go back down. So this is probably one of those areas where people get confused. Do I go to the left? Do I go to 2E over there? Or do I go to the right? Do I go to 2E over here? So really the key is looking at the other letters to find out what terminal you need to go through. Because it does divide up. One of the things I like to do, I like to go to the end of the train and get on the car because more often than not, there's hardly anybody down there. Just like today. All right, now it's going to get busy. Charles de Gaulle E terminal. Go. We went up, and now we're going back down. That lady, she's racing me. Look at her. You're not going to make your flight. Just forget it. You're going to run. Don't run, walk. Now we're going down again. This part of Charles de Gaulle has changed. Now they have this secure area so you can go from one terminal to the next. 20 years ago, you couldn't do this. You had to literally leave out of the secure area and go back through security all over again, which really sucked. Now they've got this little squirrel cage, little hamster cage you walk through, and you don't have to go back through security. So look, who'd have guessed? Another escalator to go up. Now, one thing about Terminal 2F that I love, this entire terminal smells like fresh baked butter croissants. The entire terminal smells this way. There is a bakery, a patisserie called Paul. It's in both wings of 2F. Great. Absolutely great food there. Coffee and a croissant in Paris. One of the best croissants I've ever had. And I'm not saying they're the best. I'm just saying it's one of the best I've ever had. This terminal is really cool. I just always like to stretch my legs after the international transatlantic leg of my trip and walk through here. There's Paul over there on the left. I didn't have time to get a croissant this time, but I will next time. At the time of me recording this voiceover for this video, I'm actually heading back on this very same trip again. I'm going to try to hit that Paul. So now I'm over in the G terminal, and the sun came out. The G terminal is a very small regional jet terminal in Charles de Gaulle. I did go to the lounge here. I was there for a few hours. It really wasn't anything to share. Nothing really interesting there, but this is always nice to be able to watch the planes. This guy's getting ready to depart.
Mesdames et messieurs, bonjour, bienvenue sur le vol Air France 16 14 à destination Zurich. Suite à l'arrivée tardive de notre avion à Paris-Charles de Gaulle, nous allons devoir différer notre embarquement. Nous estimons l'embarquement à 13h20. Nous sommes déjà à présent désolés pour ce retard et nous vous remercions pour votre patience. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on Delta Flight 1614 to Zurich. Due to late arrival of aircraft in Paris-Charles de Gaulle, we have to delay the boarding after
All right. Well, I think it's time to head down to the gate. Let's go see what our plane looks like. Maybe it's one of these over here. This little terminal's interesting with these windows. They have different colored gels on them. So one section looks pink and the other section looks blue. The sun really did come out. So it was really bright out here and noisy. But I like the noise. I love airplanes. Here's my lunch. This was very interesting. I have to say, I don't usually eat goat cheese, but I have to say that this little goat cheese sandwich tastes really good. It doesn't look like it would taste good, but man, I'm actually thinking about, I hope they have this little goat cheese sandwich on my flight this weekend when I travel again, because it's really yummy. And of course, the little treats there on the left were good as well. So a couple hours later, we land in Basel, Switzerland, and this is kind of funny now. I didn't time my restroom break quite well. When I got off this plane, I really had to go to the bathroom. And I happened to follow that guy in front of me, and he ran right into the women's restroom, and I followed him. Oh, that was mistakes you make when you're tired and you really have to go pee. Fortunately, there were no women in there. They were just waiting outside for us when we walked out the door, asking us why we were in the women's room. They laughed about it, though. It's all good. So we have nothing to declare. We are on the French side, not the Swiss side. Basel Airport sits and straddles the border of France and Switzerland. So we are exiting on the French side. And now I have a bus to catch. My flight was delayed coming out of Paris. Maybe no surprise to some of you. And I was really hoping the bus would still be there. I really was hoping I would make it and not have to wait another hour for the next bus, but the bus just wasn't there. No bus. So, let's go check out upstairs. Basel Airport has this observation deck. I have no idea how to get out there because the doors had little red signs on them indicating that you couldn't go out there, which was a bummer given how much time I had to kill. Really would have loved to sit out there and watch the planes take off and do some plane spotting and get some great footage, some good B-roll, but wasn't in the cards for me today. And there's a look at the terminal at Basel, airport code BSL. So, time to get on the bus. And at this point, I'm really feeling quite tired. So I went back outside to get some fresh air and hung out here on this nice little uncomfortable block of concrete to wait for my bus. Why am I taking the bus? Because it's cheap. It's like $25-35 to get up to Freiburg. And it's a very comfortable bus, and it does have a restroom. Now here we are at the border of Germany. There's the beautiful Rhine River. And the border control checking, make sure everything is okay. And this guy obviously has way too much chocolate that he's trying to bring into Germany. I love how they leave the graffiti up. There's some cool graffiti in Germany. And here we are, Freiburg, Germany. The great thing is, the train terminal, the bus stop, is literally across the street from my hotel. It's very convenient. What's amazing, it seems like everywhere I've gone in the world, there's almost always a Mickey D's there, almost always a McDonald's. There's also a Burger King in this train station, and a Subway, and a Starbucks. When you walk in there, it's just like being at home. Here we are at the Courtyard Marriott in Freiburg. So once I get settled in, I'll change my clothes, go out and get something to eat for dinner. I like this hotel. They have those really nice hotel air freshener things that make the hotel smell very welcoming every time you arrive. So thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. It's a real quick little montage of my travels from Cincinnati CVG all the way out to Freiburg, Germany. And needless to say, I was so glad I made it.